Let's talk about the little habits that make the biggest difference in how I feel mentally, physically, hormonally, all of it. These are my daily non-negotiables that keep me feeling healthy, grounded, energized, ready to do all the things, and it's nothing super crazy, and I guarantee you can easily implement some of these this week. Starting with my morning non-negotiables. In the morning, one of the first things that I really try to do is to see sunlight. And I'm very intentional with doing this because whenever our body sees sunlight in the morning, it helps to regulate our circadian rhythm. This is the system in our body that essentially tells us it's time to wake up, it's time to go to bed. So seeing sunlight can help to get that into a better regulation and a better flow. When you wake up and you see the sunrise, it tells your body, hey, it's morning time. Let's go. And then throughout the day, your body's going to know, okay, we're winding down. We've been awake long enough. Let's start to get ready for bed. And if you are somebody who wakes up before the sunrise, or if it's during different seasons when you just kind of can't wake up and see the sunrise, because that does happen with time changes, they make different lights on Amazon that are really, really cool. And you can turn them on in your kitchen or in an area where, you might not be disturbing other people in the household. That kind of will try to replicate that sunlight and signaling for your body. I will have pictures of that linked in this video, and I could also link that in the description for you as well. But it's a very quick and simple thing. Maybe you can step out onto your balcony, or maybe you can just step outside onto your street and look around, or even sit in front of a window if you don't have great access to either of those, just to get some extra sunlight. I also find that it makes me a little bit more excited to wake up in the morning because I love seeing the sunrise. I love seeing just the day begin. It's so beautiful and it's exciting, so it gives me a little bit of joy, and it also really helps me with waking up and feeling energized, and then also winding down at the end of the night. If I'm really on top of it, I will do this next non-negotiable along with watching the sunrise, but I sometimes do these separately. But the second thing that is a health non-negotiable for me, more on the spirituality side of things, is to spend time doing a morning devotional and some time in prayer. And there's actually science supporting that this can help regulate your parasympathetic nervous system. This is your rest and digest state. So spending time in prayer, and for me also doing a devotional, is a great way to kind of help relax myself, help remove the control from me, and to really just be intentional with my time in my morning and to start things off on a really great note. But doing this can actually help to reduce cortisol, can reduce stress levels in the body, and it's also, like I said, gonna help to turn on that rest and digest nervous system. That's our parasympathetic nervous system, to get our body in a little bit more of a calm and relaxed state. And if you want to implement something like this, but you're like, there's no way, my mornings are too hectic, you can do this any time of day. You can do it for 5-10 minutes on your lunch break. You could do it at the end of the day. There are plenty of times in the day when you can fit in 5 to 10 minutes to maybe just read a little devotional on the Bible app in your phone, or to just spend some quiet time in prayer in your car, anything like that. The next non-negotiable that has made such a big difference in my energy levels throughout the day is having a high protein breakfast. And I know if you've been around here for a while, you have heard me talk about how important it is to have a high protein meal and to have protein with all your meals. But specifically, a high protein breakfast is game changing. And here's why. When you wake up and you have just a breakfast with carbs and not really any protein in it, we'll say just like some oatmeal and maybe like a glass of milk, your blood sugar is going to spike from having that. Now oats, they do have fiber, so it might be a little bit slower of a spike, but it's gonna spike, and then it's gonna come down pretty quickly within an hour, 2 hours, and that's when you might even start to feel hungrier or like you need to eat more food. When you have protein, that spike is not as high, and it becomes more of a steady, gradual line here where you have continuous energy and you're not going to feel as hungry because you're not going to have that crash. So it's going to keep you feeling satisfied for longer. And if you have fat loss goals, or you want to kind of maintain a calorie deficit without having to try really hard, this is the greatest hack, to just have a higher protein breakfast, because you're going to be consuming less food but feeling better and having more energy for longer. Going into my midday health non-negotiables. This one is something that I try to avoid at all costs, but this was something that I always really try to be mindful of. And this is not having caffeine too late in the day. Caffeine has about a half-life of 5 to 6 hours. Obviously, it depends on how much you're consuming as well, but that means you don't want to have caffeine within 5 to 6 hours of the time that you want to try to be going to bed, because it's going to make it a lot harder for you to fall asleep. Your heart rate might be higher while you're sleeping, so you might not really feel as rested as you could. And I was once a Diet Coke queen. I mean, I still miss her dearly. But I transitioned from Diet Coke to just drinking sparkling waters and things of that nature, because at the end of the day, I would have quite a bit of Diet Coke with my dinner or maybe just later in my afternoon. And even though it doesn't have a ton of caffeine, if you have enough of it, it will add up. And that was affecting my sleep and honestly my energy levels throughout the whole day. So I swapped that for different sparkling beverages that don't have any caffeine, just to kind of give me that fun, bubbly joy that I get from sparkling drinks, but to not leave me feeling like I'm going like this kind of throughout the day with my energy levels. Same goes if you're having things like coffee, energy drinks, even pre-workout. You want to try to avoid having it within 5 to 6 hours of going to sleep if you really want to optimize your sleep and you want to have good, deep, restful sleep. Transitioning into my nighttime non-negotiables. Spearmint tea has become my best friend. We are locked in. And I started drinking spearmint tea not only because it tastes amazing, but it also has really great hormonal support. So I actually had slightly higher testosterone levels when I got my blood work done. And the doctor was like, it's really nothing to be super concerned about. This could maybe be from exercising closer to your blood work or different things of that nature, but it was a little bit higher. So I also decided that I was going to take matters into my own hands and find some ways to kind of naturally level that out. So I started drinking spearmint tea. Spearmint tea is great if you are somebody who deals with things like higher testosterone levels, PCOS, or even acne. And I suggest just trying it first and stay consistent with it. Try having 1 to 2 bags of it a day and see how your body is reacting. It's a really great tea. It also tastes great, so it's something that you might actually really enjoy having. But I've noticed that this also helps my digestion a lot, and just having tea at night kind of helps to wind you down. You feel a little bit more relaxed. There's something about the act of just making tea that's rather soothing, and it feels like such a great little nighttime routine, although it also can be a great morning routine. But for those of you that prefer coffee in the morning, tea at night is such a great little way to wind down. The next one, which some of you may have seen going crazy over the internet, and I know it seems like kind of a funny one, but I have been testing it out more so on myself, and I don't have a ton of evidence supporting this, but it's something that I've experienced and I feel like has kind of helped. And this is putting castor oil on my belly button. I know. It sounds so silly. But castor oil is really, really rich in this specific acid. And I know if I try to say it, I'm gonna butcher it. So I'll probably just put it up on the screen here. But this can also help to kind of support lymphatic drainage and digestion in the body. And a lot of more holistic practitioners think that castor oil can have a lot of really great health benefits and also reducing inflammation in the body. And ever since I started doing this, I will say I feel like my digestion has been pretty good. I've also been eating pretty good, and I've been taking my magnesium glycinate. It helps me a lot with my digestion and bowel movements, not to be TMI. But I've noticed that also using the castor oil has helped a lot, and I wake up in the morning feeling really, really good. I also will use castor oil on like my eyebrows or eyelashes to kind of help support some hair growth, and I've seen great results with that whenever I'm really consistent with it. It is a very, very, very thick oil, so you want to be careful how you're applying it, but it absorbs really well into the body from what I have read, and it just feels great to use it too. So very hydrating as well. The next one, if you have seen 2 of my vlogs, you have seen my blue light blockers. They make it into my vlogs now. But blue light blocking glasses have been such a great wind down routine for my husband and I. We love to wear them, and we both are people that kind of enjoy to watch a little bit of a TV show at night or something like that to kind of wind down. It's fun, it's kind of a nice time for us to chat and laugh. So television, as some of you may know, is not always great to do before bed because that blue light can signal to your body that you want to stay awake, and it doesn't really help you with sleep. So wearing these orange blue light blocking glasses kind of can help a little bit, and we've noticed that it helps a good bit with kind of the strain on our eyes after looking at computers all day, and then the television. We feel like it kind of helps relieve some of that strain on the eyes, and we have an easier time falling asleep whenever we wear them and watch television versus if we don't. One of my personal favorites, because I struggle so much with my sinuses at night, I always feel congested and like I've got something blocked. I also have a bit of a deviated septum here, so it does get harder to breathe at night if I have some congestion. These nasal strips, and I'm not talking just like the breathe right strips. This contraption is one that I have wanted to use for so long. I've dreamed of it. Like I've thought, I just wish they made something like this. And they do, and I'm here to tell you, it is so worth the hype. There are 2 little stickers that you will stick on each side of your nose, and they have a tiny little magnet in them. Then there's this plastic attachment that's hard, and it's kind of rounded, like a little half moon. And you put it on top of that, and this just, it opens up your nose so much. I could not believe how well I could breathe through my nose when I did this. Now, this is really important if you are somebody that is maybe a mouth breather or you want to get better sleep. Using some type of a nasal strip to really help open up your nose is going to be next level. It's going to help you get deeper sleep, more oxygen into your body, just better breathing in general. And if you want to take it to the next level, you could even try mouth taping with that so that you're not breathing through your mouth, you're breathing through your nose. That can also help with people that have like grinding or maybe like clenching in their jaws when you sleep. Mouth taping and making sure you have a lot of great airflow through your nose, like with that nasal strip, can help so much. And that can take your sleep to the next level. Something that my husband and I are prioritizing this year, because our schedules finally allow for it, is having dinner earlier. So trying to eat not so close to our bedtime, because normally we would go to the gym, come home at like 9 p.m., have to eat, and then immediately go to bed. And this can definitely impact your sleep, because when you're eating, your body temperature is increasing, your heart rate's even increasing a little bit to allow that digestion process to really follow all the way through. And whenever you fall asleep, this can just mean that maybe your sleep is not going to be as deep as it could be if you weren't really in the state of digesting. So we tried to push our dinner times to a little bit earlier so that we are done eating 1 to even 2 hours before we go to bed. And I've noticed that I do not wake up in the middle of the night and I get such deep sleep. I've also noticed I don't have as many crazy dreams. I don't know about any of you out there, but for me, if I were to eat right before I would go to bed or even take a nap, I would have the craziest, wildest, like not good dreams. And I think this is because your body is not really hitting that deep sleep state. So you're kind of in this like lucid realm and you just have some really weird dreams. So now that we've changed our meal times, we're able to get such better sleep. Another priority for me and for my husband, and this is something if you are obviously married and in a relationship, you can do as well if your schedule allows, but going to bed together. For us, this has been so amazing. And there are also studies showing that couples that go to bed together have higher satisfaction in their relationship. But this is just a great time for us to kind of wind down. We talk about the day, we connect on things that we want to do tomorrow. We can say a good night prayer and then go to bed. And this is just nice because you don't always have distractions in the other room. Let's say somebody's watching television in there, and you also then can kind of get on the same sleep and wake cycle, which is nice because then you get to spend a little more time together. And if your schedule doesn't allow for that, that's obviously totally fine. It's important to do whatever works for you. And the last little health non-negotiable, some people may think I'm crazy for this, but this has worked wonders for me. And this is sleeping with the house at 65 degrees. I know some people are gonna be like, absolutely not. What? This has made such a difference for my husband and I. And if it's not, like if it's at 67, we know. When we're laying in bed, we're like, we didn't turn it down enough, did we? We just know. There's a lot of research though that says sleeping from 60 to 67 degrees is kind of the optimal temperature for sleep. And this can also help to produce more melatonin in the body, which is what allows you to get sleepy. So some people will take the melatonin supplement. We actually have it in our body already. But if you put your body in the optimal position to create more of that so that you can get sleepy and go to bed, then you don't have to take the melatonin. And I swear, this has just been the secret to like better sleep and waking up feeling like more refreshed and to not wake up sweating, which we both just run hot naturally and are in Florida, so that kind of can happen too. These non-negotiables though don't take up a ton of time, and you do not have to go and implement all 11 of these immediately, but you can totally pick and choose some of these that feel like they would fit effortlessly into your life and try them out and see how you feel. Comment down below which ones you're going to try, and if you have any health non-negotiables that I didn't mention in here, I want to hear them from you because I want you to put me onto them.